with Coxon. The next race that we'll have for you shortly, you can see them lined up and sitting ready, is the Men's Youth Quad Grand Final. All right, 6 boats across. It's another grand final. This is a men's youth quad here at our 2022 championships. Right to left, lane 2, Conestoga, now top to bottom. Lane 3, Niskayuna. Lane 4, Los Gatos. Lane 5, Newport Seabase. Lane 6, Maritime. Lane 7 is Miami Beach. You can see them right there before your eyes there in lane 7, that white boat. The gold boat out in front is Maritime, and they have the lead here, it looks like, at 500, but you have 4 boats that are all connected coming through the 500-meter point. We also have a lot of firepower in terms of returning boats from the grand final last year. Maritime finished with the bronze medal, so they're trying to turn that into a silver or a gold. Niskayuna finished 6th, Conestoga finished 5th. So we have 3 boats here that are returning to the grand final in the men's youth quad. These quads are fast, and you can see it's really shaping up to be a tremendous race. Look at these 3 boats out here. It's Maritime closest to the camera, then it's Newport Seabase in that boat that has a little bit of red on top, gold on the bottom, and then in the white boat just above them is Los Gatos.
Just before we crossed over that first 500 of the race, you could see that Los Gatos, they made a move there. They lengthened off of their start sequence. Maybe it was 20, 25, 30 strokes. These boats are going very fast. They're on pace to go sub 6 minutes here in these youth quads. And so coming through the first 500 in that way, and then to show that surge, that did nudge Los Gatos out there in front for a little bit, but now it's Newport Seabase. So already in 700 meters, we've had 3 lead changes. We've had 3 different leaders. The early leader was Maritime. That's who you see in the foreground. You could see the bowman just take a peek over there to check and see where they were. And then it was Los Gatos who took the lead through that surge that they had through the first 500. Then it was Newport Seabase, and as we're continuing to just describe what's going on, we talked about maturity by being able to race side by side like this, and it is Newport Seabase back out in front, Los Gatos being the crew that now that we've crossed into the second 1,000 of the race is going along with them a little bit more, with only Maritime slipping back by a few feet. We're talking slipping back by a matter of feet at this point.
Tremendous, very close connected race up front. What I want to say is that Los Gatos is at a higher stroke rating than the other 2 boats. So Los Gatos about 38. I had the other 2 boats being Newport Seabase and Maritime both at around 34, 35. Will that come into play? Lindsay, yesterday we saw a boat go 40 all the way down the race course and win. It doesn't necessarily always come into play. Sometimes the pacing in terms of how many strokes you're taking per minute is just higher for certain crews. It's just the way they row. As you start to see Newport Seabase asserting themselves here at 1250, they're in the center of the screen. They have a clear lead at 1250. It's Los Gatos still sitting in second place, a little bit higher stroke rating than Maritime. Actually, it's really dead level. It's a little hard to tell from this screen, but it's dead level between Maritime and Los Gatos. So these medals are very much up for grabs. You have 3 connected boats. As you see Miami Beach coming through, they're sitting in 4th place. Then that boat there coming through is Conestoga ahead of Niskayuna. So that's your order as they approach 500 meters to go, and we start to see those times come through. But up front, it's still a connection. 3 boats. It's Newport Seabase. They threw that sort of big punch there in the third 500. They've gotten themselves a lead, and what are they going to do with it?
500 meters to go. These quads, especially just a little puff of a tailwind here, it's going to just continue to help them go fast all the way through this full 2,000 meters. And watch these quads. When they go to sprint, there is just so much speed happening out of the hands. You know, you don't want to hit hands at this point. There is a lot of technical dexterity that it takes to row these boats well because they move so fast. If you've never done it, it's one thing to row steady state in a quad. It's quite another to be in the lead in the national championship and know that you need to sprint because there has been a tight race all along. Newport Seabase set the tone in the middle 1,000. They overtook the lead, and now they are lengthening their lead. It is Los Gatos on the far side, who was our second leader in this race, who is now sitting in second. We're now stretching out to about a length between all three, and as soon as I say that, Los Gatos answers the sprint that Newport Seabase is laying down. The way that Newport is rowing is keeping them out in front. Los Gatos is applying the pressure, but not quite getting them up to speed. However, their rate does appear to be slightly higher. They're moving just a little bit more to clip, but the buffer that Newport Seabase gave themselves getting into the last 500 has given them enough of a margin as the finish line is fast approaching. These crews are running out of race course to go fast. How fast can you go in the next 10 strokes? Only Maritime falling off of the blistering pace that we've just seen in the last 200 meters set by Newport and Los Gatos.
Yeah, Newport had room to move. That was the only difference between the two boats in terms of pacing, to my eye there, was that they had room to move. When they took the lead, they had taken it from about a 35 to a 37, and then they just were able to continue to shift it up. Los Gatos was sitting at 40 for the entire last 400 meters, and they will take second place. So 2 California boats winning the gold and the silver medal. It's a national championship for Newport Seabase in the men's youth quad ahead of Los Gatos and Maritime, who